Good evening. We will now permit Ms. Gertrudis Gonzalez to present her concerns during a closed meeting of the Northside ISD Board of Trustees for up to 1 hour. Accordingly, the board will now convene into closed session under the authority of Texas Government Code, Section 551.074. So we are now going to move to the room back and open up in closed session. We are now back on the record from our meeting. We have returned from closed session. The time now is, please somebody tell me, the time now is 6:13, and this matter is now closed. All right. Thank you. And to everybody here, we were in another meeting. I apologize. We went a little over. We will now be starting our special meeting of this called board. And good evening. The Northside Board of Trustees welcomes you. Before calling this meeting to order, the board would like to take just a moment to briefly review some of the rules for conducting our meeting. The order of business for this meeting is set out in the agenda. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct board business, and for that reason, it is held in public. It is not a public forum. However, we do provide the opportunity for audience participation. If there is anyone who would like to address the board during an agenda item, we ask that you please complete a sign-up sheet located at the entrance to this room. This is so we don't overlook anyone who would like to speak to the board. We will review the rules for addressing the board later in the meeting. Is there anyone here who would like to sign up to an agenda item and has not done so? Okay. The meeting will then be officially called to order. Please stand as Dr. Carl will conduct us with the invocation and pledges to the flags.
Thank you. Almighty and merciful God, we ask your guidance and blessings upon this board, students, parents, patrons, teachers, and administrators as we are assembled here this evening in the common pursuit of this great nation's wealth, our children. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Dr. Carl. I don't have my agenda open, but I believe the first item on the agenda is for you, Dr. Woods.
It is, Ms. Freeman, and I'm going to let Mr. Glendo talk a little bit about logistics, but just as a reminder to the board, because it's been a little while since we've done this, each year at the first meeting in August, we ask administrators who are not necessarily new to the district, most actually aren't, but who are new to a position to come and just introduce themselves, who they are, where they were, and now where are they in their new position. Well, we didn't do that last August, and so tonight's group is substantial, to say the least. And so, we're going to ask what you see in the room here with us right now is the group of people who are new to the role of the principalship. So that's the group that's here now, and then you will see other groups come through as we go on. In each of the room where the other groups are seated, they're seeing a live stream of this meeting. So, what we'll do is we'll, after Mr. Galindo walks through the logistics with you, we'll ask the members of the board to do, as we do each year, just a brief introduction of yourself. That'll be seen not only by the folks sitting in this room, but by the folks sitting in the other rooms as well, so you won't need to do it multiple times. It's an actual improvement on what we used to do in the boardroom. So you'll only need to do that once. So, Mr. Galindo, you want to walk through logistics, and then we'll get going.
Yes, sir. Just a couple other things. So as Dr. Wood says, the rest of the groups are actually in other rooms, and we'll hear you as you introduce yourselves. We typically would have 2, maybe 3 groups at this meeting. However, for tonight, we have 4. With you in front of you are our leaders, our campus leaders. We have our principals that will start with the introductions. Then we'll have a secondary group, as you're so used to seeing, as well as an elementary and the central office. So all 4 will be coming in that order. And as Dr. Wood says, they'll tell you who they are, where they were at, and where they're at now. And again, this is 2 years worth. And also something because of just changes and so forth. As they exit, we will not have, as we've had in other times, a reception. So they're, because of the number and other reasons, they will exit after they make their introductions. And I see most of them with their face mask. If they're comfortable, we'll ask that as they introduce themselves that they remove it so you can see them, put a face to the name, and hear them clearly. So with that, we can begin. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we're working on that. I made that request.
Yes.
Thank you. That would.
I would make a similar request.
Yes, that request was made, and I believe Barry's on it, but he was looking
Barry,
for Leroy.
so our most technical guy is on it. Is that what we're saying? There we go.
So thank you.
So if we just asked Adriana in the beginning, it would have been resolved. Somebody should have realized she used to work here. All right. So Mrs. Freeman, how would you like to handle board member introductions?
Thank you, Dr. Woods, and I'm glad we got that challenge cleared up. Well, just first, a big welcome to all of you, and congratulations on your position. This is, as you heard, this is an opportunity for us to connect a name, whether it's masked or not, a face, whether you're masked or not, with your name, and also hopefully an opportunity for you to learn a little bit about the Board of Trustees and why we're here and what we do, and why we do what we do. First, I'd like to start out with board introductions. You know what? Mr. Blunt, let's just start with you.
Good start. Okay. Bobby Blunt. It's a pleasure to see everybody once again. I've been on the board since 1999, and I've had my 2 kids both go through all of our Northside schools, and they're doing extremely well right now. So it's good to see everybody. And commercial break, you all may not know it, but us trustees, we actually wrote a book, Public Education, and that's probably illegal for me to bring that up, but I'll throw that up there.
Thank you, Mr. Blunt. And what he did not say is that book is available on Amazon or any other.
I didn't want to get in trouble, but you said it. $25.
Yes, let's double down on the salesmanship. All right.
All right. Ms. Chumley.
I'm Melissa Chumley. I've been on the board since 1995. I never intended to stay on the board as long as I have, but I have found something exciting going on in this school district, or else we're hiring new superintendents. And so it just never seemed, I've just never gotten to the point where I am getting off, but that's coming soon. I have 4 sons that graduated, that went through all schools in Northside and graduated. and we're very successful, and we're fighting Texas Aggies. Very good. One. Anyway, and I really do credit their success with a lot of what they learned actually in the classrooms, but more than that, with the role models that they were blessed to have, not only besides my husband and myself, but there were so many individuals that made such lasting impacts on them. You know, some of their teachers actually followed one of my sons, their English teacher, Julie Swears, I'm sure some of you know her, actually followed him until he was, you know, an adult in a job, was emailing him and encouraging him. And I thought, you know, how many people do that for 10, 12 years? Anyway, that's the type of individuals that we have in Northside, in our classrooms and in our leadership positions. And what I want to tell you is your job is absolutely the hardest job I think that there is in our school district, is being a principal or an administrator on a campus. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm so glad that all of you are courageous and have grit and perseverance and have stepped into the positions that you're in now, even if it was lateral to another one. Thank you very much for giving your time to our kids. Makes a huge difference in what our society is going to look like over the next 20 years. Thank you.
Mr. Lopez?
Thank you. Just want to say yes, exactly what Melissa said. You know, thank you so much for what you guys are doing, what y'all did in the past and what you've done and what you're doing now. The positions that you hold is so important. So often do I always hear our students talk about their principals and their teachers and their administrators. So you're a very important person in their lives, and that means a lot. And we thank you as a board member, as board members here, for what you're doing and what you're going to accomplish in this next year. I've been on the board since 2015, so that's about 6 years, and I've learned so much, just like you're going to learn as an administrator or in whatever position you have. But one thing that's for sure is it's going to be pleasurable, and it's been a pleasure to work with you guys. It's been a pleasure to work with the board in the amount of years that I've been here. So congratulations on your position, and wish you good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Dr. Harrell?
Thank you. It is wonderful to be able to celebrate y'all tonight. Thank you so much for choosing to serve Northside. My love affair with Northside started as a student at John Marshall, and actually I'll probably make you feel really good because I'm really old and I'm older than Melissa, and she was a student there too. And then I got to work in Northside, so I was there were two original, I can't even remember what we were called, specialists or coordinators with the organizational and staff development department. And I was one of the first academic deans, and loved, I carry Rayburn in my heart wherever I go, but taught at both levels. So, and then Northside launched me into other careers as an assistant superintendent in other school districts, and then you come back to serve the district you love as a trustee, as a volunteer. My children too also graduated from Northside, went to all 3 levels of schools, and now I have grandchildren who are in Northside. So their favorite thing is to put mustaches on grandma's face when lessons come, or some other flyers from Northside. But again, thank you all so much. I also get to teach your future teachers that come from UTSA. And whenever I hear the schools where they're going, I go, you are going to love that school. Oh, you're going to love that school. And they go, well, is there one we're not going to love? And I go, no, but you're really going to love it. And anyway, so good to have you here tonight.
Thank you. Ms. Saldana?
I am Corinne Saldana, and I am the most blessed to be on this board because I've been on for a whole 2 months. It has been an incredible experience to be a part of this board, and I can tell you, I have a brand new appreciation for school boards. It is really, really exciting work, and it is such a blessing to be able to just think about the fact that we are making decisions that are going to impact the future, and that's exactly what you will do. I came to Northside in 1974, and I never left. In 74, I went to Holmes High School as a teacher, never left Holmes. 33 years later, I ended up as a principal, retired, and then decided I'm not done yet. I loved working here. You know, I still have more to give. So that's when I decided to run for the board. But my kids were Northside products. I could never convince my husband to come to Northside. He was a San Antonio ISD teacher for 40 years, so we are in education. My daughter teaches at Brandeis. My son lives in Pennsylvania, but if he were here, I'm sure he would be a Northside teacher or something with Northside. But congratulations to each of you. I'm so proud of you. I've been where you are. It's an incredible experience. You have the opportunity to touch not only kids, but to touch all your new teachers, the first year teachers, the second year, letting them know that this is a great profession. And I just wish you nothing but the best, and let's move forward and always keep thinking, is this the best thing I'm doing for the kids in my school? Because that's what it's all about. We always have to remember that we're all about them. And congratulations to each of you.
Thank you. Mr. Medina?
Thank you. I'm Joseph Medina. I've been on the board since 2015. I have a child in elementary, middle school, and in high school, and they all attend Northside schools. I also want to share that I'm so excited for the school year. I share some experiences similar to you. I'm a school administrator as well. I want to share to have optimism, both in all your teachers, all the families, all the students, doors welcome open. And I believe that all of y'all had a destiny and you're here for a reason and a purpose. And that's not only to serve our community, but the meaning that you have, how many hearts you touch, how many minds you touch, and looking forward into the future. Not only are you molding the next generation teachers, but the next children, scientists, doctors, lawyers, other teachers as well. And so I want to make sure that I share that with you, that the similarity, and I know how hard where the rubber hits the road, those days that you have, those nights, that we're always keeping you in our prayers and always trying to lift you up. And so we're always thinking about you. Again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Medina. And I'm Karen Freeman. I was first elected to this board in 2005. My husband and I, my husband was in the Air Force, and we were transferred here to San Antonio. We had 4 children. Actually, we had 3 at the time. I do have 4 children now, and we made a conscious decision to move into Northside ISD so that our children could attend school here. Northside had a great reputation, and we had a lot of recommendations from colleagues that my husband knew and friends that we knew here. So we chose Northside as to where our kids were going to go to school. My oldest one started kindergarten here, and we spent most of his Air Force career here for a lot of reasons. They all started kindergarten here, and all our kids graduated from high school here in Northside. I serve on this board. I was inspired by teachers that they had, the teachers that truly cared about my kids. They would hold their hands, they would wipe their noses, they would spend time after school tutoring them. My kids are successful right now in what they do because of the teachers that they had here in Northside. And serving on this board is my opportunity to give back to this community and quite honestly to serve the community and the staff and the students of Northside. I also want to tell you, I work with an incredible group of people on this board. This is one of the hardest working boards in the state of Texas. They're all here for the right reasons, and that is to ensure that our students here in Northside have the best educational experiences and opportunities that we can provide or help them with. And to you, we certainly thank you for what you do. You have an incredible and awesome responsibility, and we appreciate you willing to be able to serve in that capacity. You not only, as you've heard my fellow board members, you not only touch children, but teachers as well, and you inspire them to be successful. So thank you for all you do. We appreciate you being here and wish you a successful year. Thank you. Go ahead and.
Yes, ma'am. So if you will,
I'm
Ms. Freeman,
sorry.
Dr. Wood, trustees.
Excuse me, Mr. Galindo.
I'm sorry.
Before you start, could y'all show if any of you are on Northside products? Yeah, thank you for coming home. I like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Galindo?
Yes, if you will, then look to Adriana and Steve for direction, and we'll start with the first row. These are our principals, our campus leaders.
Good evening. My name is Kathleen Cuevas. I'm formerly the academic dean at Zachary Middle School, and I stand before you as the proud principal at Peace Middle School.
Thank you.
Sorry. Hello, I'm Crystal Mitchell. Today, I am the principal at Jay Science and Engineering Academy, and formerly, I was the vice principal at Luna Middle School.
I feel like we need to say virtual handshakes, virtual hugs, but we need.
So my legal name is Teresa Cuellar Hernandez, but you only know me as Teresa Cuellar. I am formerly the principal at Science and Engineering, currently the new principal at Jay High School.
Glad she kept it low. Hello, Cynthia Barrera. I spent 13 years at Brandeis, and now I have the privilege of returning to Holmes as their principal, where I began my career and spent the first 10 years there. Thank you.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm Melissa Hurst. I was formerly the associate principal at Clark High School, and now I'm the proud principal at Warren High School.
Good evening. I'm Jim Mears. I'm the principal at Construction Careers Academy, formerly the vice principal at Construction Careers Academy, and I like your face mask.
Hello, good evening. Mark Lopez. I was formerly the academic dean at Pease. I am now the proud principal of Garcia Middle School, and I've been in Northside since 3rd grade.
Good evening. My name is Brenda Rayberg. I was formerly vice principal at Vail Middle School, and now I'm principal at Vail Middle School. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dana Gilbert Perry. I am formerly the principal at Vail Middle School, where I had the privilege of working with Ms. Rayberg, and I am now the proud principal of the new 21st Middle School in Northside, Joe Strauss Middle School.
Good evening. I'm Erica Olivares. I was formerly working here at NAC in the Office of Leadership Development, and now I have the honor of opening our newest magnet, Cass Teach High School.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Robert Martinez, the new proud principal of Sandra Day O'Connor High School. Previously, I had the pleasure to serve as the vice principal of Brennan High School.
Hi, everyone. My name is Monica Galan. I was formerly the academic dean at Jefferson Middle School, and now I'm happily serving as the principal at Stevenson Middle School.
Good evening. My name is Marisa Peña. I'm the principal at Burke Elementary, and I was formerly the vice principal. And I too started in Northside at Forest Hills Elementary, which is now Villarreal.
Good evening. I'm Sandy Luna. I was formerly the vice principal at Leon Valley, and I am currently the proud principal at Scarborough Elementary.
Good evening. I'm Catherine Clements. I'm the proud principal at Hoffman Elementary, and I was formerly the associate principal at May Elementary.
Good evening. I am Wendy Tiemann. I'm the very proud principal of our 81st Elementary, Tomlinson Elementary, and I was previously the principal at Timberwild Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Chad Bolkin. I was formerly the vice principal at Warren High School. Now am the principal of the first year for the Agricultural Science and Technology Academy. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Frank Johnson. I'm the proud principal of Raul Fernandez Elementary. I was formerly the vice principal of Guam Elementary School. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Lori Shaw, the principal at Warrenley Elementary, former principal at Carson Elementary.
Good evening. I'm Kirsten Velasquez. I had been the vice principal at Kruger Elementary, and now I have the privilege of being the principal at Kruger Elementary.
Good evening. I'm Lindsay Christian. I was formerly at McAndrew as the vice principal, and now I am the proud principal of Kuntz, which I'm back home in Helotes, and I'm excited.
Good evening. My name is Jose Mendez, and I am the proud principal of Dr. Joe J. Bernal Middle School. Prior to transitioning to the principalship, I was the academic dean of the original administrative team that opened the campus in 2014.
Good evening. I'm Paul Ramirez, the proud principal at Earl Rudder Middle School. I formerly was the vice principal at Anson Jones Middle School.
Good evening. I'm Rachel Delgado, formerly the principal at Leek Elementary, and am currently the principal at Baylal Elementary, home of the Bulldogs.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Garza, formerly vice principal at Cable Elementary, now proud principal of Leek Elementary.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Claudia Colunga. I was formerly the vice principal at Lock Hill Elementary. 25 years ago, I got the opportunity to be a first-year teacher opening Virginia Myers Elementary. Today, I stand here proudly saying I am the principal at Virginia Myers Elementary. Have a great evening.
Very nice.
Good evening. My name is Melissa De Hoyos, and I was formerly the vice principal at Carson Elementary, and now I'm the new and proud principal of Lock Hill Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Kathy DeLeon. I was formerly the vice principal at Glen Oaks Elementary, and I'm currently the proud principal at Glen Oaks Elementary. Go Owls.
Good evening. Jay Sumter, formerly principal at John Jay High School, and now I'm the proud Phoenix principal at Health Careers. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Brad Aber. I was previously the assistant principal at Harlan High School. I am now the proud principal of Northside School of Innovation, Technology, and Entrepreneurship, known as Insight, located at the campus of Holmes High School. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Steve Zimmerman. I am entering my second year as a principal of Clark High School, formerly principal of Madison High School in Northeast ISD. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Sandra Vyas. I'm coming from Northeast Lee High School, assistant principal, and I am very proud to be the new principal of Home Green Center. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Tawny Wagner. I am the new principal at the greatest school on the planet, Carson Elementary. I formerly was the vice principal, associate principal at Oak Hills Terrace for 5 years. Thank you.
Next group, Ms. Freeman, Dr. Woods is our secondary associates, assistants, and AD secondary.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Lance Enderlin. I was formerly the assistant principal at Holmes High School, and now I'm the associate principal at Construction Careers Academy.
Okay.
Howdy. Formerly assistant principal at O'Connor High School, and now the associate principal at the Agriculture, Science, and Technology Academy.
And you are?
Thomas Johnson.
There you go.
I guess that is important.
Just want to make sure everybody knows you, Thomas.
Hi, I'm Autumn Peralta. I am formerly the vice principal at Zachary Middle School and now the associate principal at Joe Strauss III Middle School. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Robert Alvarado, the associate principal at Rayburn Middle School, formerly assistant principal at Folks Middle School.
Good evening. Javier Lasso. I'm the associate principal at Jones currently. I was the previous vice principal at Rayburn Middle School. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, formerly principal at assistant principal, not principal, assistant principal at Pat Neff Middle School, and currently associate principal at Jefferson Middle School, and I am Nicole Gomez. Thank you.
Good evening, Travis Weisler. I was formerly academic dean at Warren and now associate principal at Brandeis High School.
Good evening. I'm Christy Sabo. I was formerly assistant principal at Warren High School, and I'm currently the associate principal of the Northside School of Innovation, Technology, and Entrepreneurship. Insight.
Good evening. Brandon Masters, formerly assistant principal at Briscoe Middle School, currently associate principal at Briscoe Middle School.
Good evening. I'm Joshua Hall, formerly assistant principal at Marshall High School, now the proud associate principal at Brennan High School.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Daryl Pankratz. I was the former assistant principal at O'Connor High School, and now I'm the proud associate principal of Clark High School.
Hello, I'm Jenna Bloom, and I was formerly the assistant principal at Brandeis High School, and I'm currently the associate principal at Vail Middle School.
Hi, good evening.
So my name is Erica Almendarez, and I was previously one of the assistant principals at Harlan High School. And now I get to return home to my alma mater and be the proud associate principal of John Jay High School.
Good evening. My name is Richard Del Garza. I formerly was the assistant principal at Zachary Middle School, and I am currently the associate principal at Zachary Middle School.
Good evening. My name is Aurelio Hernandez. I was previously an assistant principal at Harlan High School, and I am now associate principal at Warren High School.
Evening. My name is John Decker. Formerly, I was assistant principal at Rudder Middle School, and now I'm privileged to be the associate principal at the Northside Alternative Middle School.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shanna Braswell. I was formerly the admin intern at Peace Middle School, and now I am the assistant principal at Peace Middle School.
Hello, my name is I can't even talk. My name is Gina Gutierrez. I used to be the intern at Folks Middle School, and right now I am excited to be the assistant principal at Briscoe Middle School. Have a great evening.
Good evening. David LeBoy, former admin intern at Pease Middle School, now the assistant principal at Bernal Middle School.
Hello, my name is Jeanette Figueroa. I am currently the new assistant principal at John Jay High School. I get to return to the place where I first started my teaching career, so I'm really excited. Thank you.
That's nice.
Good evening. I'm Lupita Esparza. I am currently an assistant principal at Harlan. I actually came from Houston, worked at Aldine ISD, where I was an assistant principal and a principal at an elementary also. Right.
You're welcome.
Good evening. My name is Alberto Munoz, former teacher and coach at O'Connor High School, intern at Stevens High School, currently assistant principal at O'Connor High School. And although I didn't start at Northside, word is out about the great things you guys are doing. I got here as soon as I could. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Eric Arzola, formerly admin intern at Jones Middle School, and now proudly assistant principal at Jones Middle School.
Good evening, Laura Senroman, and I swear I'm not copying him. I was formerly the intern at Anson Jones Middle School and now currently serving as the assistant principal at Anson Jones Middle School.
Good evening. My name is Shannon Zavala. I won't completely copy them, but I was admin intern at Jones, and now I'm the assistant principal at Jordan Middle School.
Hello, I'm Maricela Garza. I was the intern at Rayburn Middle School and am currently the assistant principal at Rayburn Middle School.
Good evening, Leticia Chapa. I was formerly the admin intern at Ross Middle School. I'm currently the assistant principal at Jefferson Middle School.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Coleman. I was formerly student success advisor at Brandeis High School and now assistant principal at Brandeis High School.
Hello, Kyle Schroyer. I was formerly a grad coach at Brandeis and am now an assistant principal at Brandeis.
Good evening. My name is Jarek Lancaster. I'm formerly the health department coordinator and coach at Warren High School, and now I am the newest assistant principal at Brandeis High School.
Hello, Araceli Farias Vasquez, formerly admin intern at Jordan and Vale, currently assistant principal at Clark, Texas.
Good evening, Geronimo Cortez, formerly assistant principal at Anson Jones Middle School, and currently I'm an assistant principal at Clark, Texas as well.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jacob Salinas. I was formerly assistant principal at Brennan High School. Now I'm really excited to be assistant principal at Harlan High School.
Congratulations.
Good evening. My name is Vanessa Solis. I was formerly an academic support teacher at Brennan High School, and now I am a proud assistant principal at Brennan High School.
Good evening. My name is Brandy Bajoran. I was formerly the admin intern at Pease, and I am now the assistant principal at Strauss Middle School.
Good evening. My name is Sarah White. I was formerly the administrative intern at Holmes High School, and now I am the proud assistant principal at Holmes High School, and I'm also a proud product of Northside.
Good evening. My name is Joe Bishop. I come to you from Harlandale ISD. I was the academic dean at Terrell Wells Middle School, and I am now the assistant principal at Zachary Middle School.
Okay. Welcome to Northside.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Mike Tilbury. I was formerly the admin intern at John Jay High School, and I am currently an assistant principal at John Jay High School. I'm sorry, John Marshall High School.
It's all right. It's okay.
Good evening. Buenas noches. I was formerly the admin intern at our Northside Alternative High School, and presently I'm at John Jay High School as the new assistant principal.
And your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. I knew I was going to forget. Domingo Gutierrez.
Thank you.
All right, hello, my name is Aaron Galavis. I'm currently an assistant principal at Jay High School. I previously served as the intern at Jay High School.
Okay. They keep coming.
Hello, everybody. My name is Veronica Poblano. My journey started in kindergarten in Northside. I was previously the academic dean at Hector Garcia Middle School, and I'm proud to be serving as Vail's academic dean for the future. Thank you.
Okay. Parade of administrators.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Myers. I was formerly the academic dean at Vail Middle School, and I too started in kindergarten in Northside. I am presently the proud and very blessed academic dean at Strauss Middle School, the new home of the Mighty Mavericks.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Marie Zavala. I am formerly the assistant principal at Hobby Middle School and moving on to my next journey to be the academic dean at Conley Middle School, where I first started. That was my student teaching back in 17 years ago. So I'm very excited to be back.
Oh.
Hello, I'm Jamie High. I was previously at Clark, Texas as an assistant principal. I stayed in the neighborhood, and now I'm the academic dean at Hobby Middle School.
There you go.
Good evening. My name is Tanya Lanise. I was formerly the assistant principal at Pease Middle School, and now I'm the proud academic dean at Pease Middle School.
Hello, I'm Gina Rodriguez, and I was previously the vice principal at Business Careers and Insight. And 22 years ago, I started in Northside as a secretary. And today, I stand here before you to open the newest magnet middle school at Zachary Magnet. Thank you, sir. Way to represent.
Good evening. My name is Juliana Molina. I was formerly the assistant principal at Zachary Middle School, and I am now the proud academic dean of Zachary Middle School.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bea Ramirez. I was formerly admin intern at Stevens High School, and I'm proud to be the academic dean at Anson Jones Middle and Magnet School. Yay.
Right.
Good evening. I was formerly the specialist in charge of middle school social studies, and I am the proud academic dean at Bernal Middle School. My name is Carrie Moix.
Almost vetoed that one. Yeah, almost vetoed that. She just about wasn't in that role.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Lori Persine. I'm coming to you from Northeast Independent School District, and I am so excited to be here. I'm the new academic dean at Hector Garcia Middle School. Thank you.
Hi.
Good evening. I am Tricia Gutierrez, and I'm formerly the assistant principal from Marshall High School, and I'm currently the academic dean at Marshall High School.
Good evening. My name is Nicholas Longoria. I was formerly the assistant principal at John Connolly Middle School, and I'm now the academic dean at Jefferson Middle School.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Demetria Simmons. I started my journey with Northside in 1985 at Ed Cody. Formerly, I was the Title I Programs Coordinator at Holmes High School, and currently I am the Academic Dean at Holmes High School as well. Thank you. God bless y'all.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andres Lopez, formerly an instructional coach and department coordinator at Stevens High School, and now honored to be the academic dean at Stevens High School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is James Dominguez. I was formerly admin intern at Meade Elementary School, and now I'll be the associate principal for our Joey Tomlinson Trailblazers.
There you go.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Melissa Speakerman. Previously, I was the vice principal over at Bolt Elementary, and now I am proud and honored to serve as the assistant principal over at Blattman.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Mendez. I was formerly the admin intern at Colonies North, and now I am the associate principal at Kuntz Elementary. Still getting used to the associate.
Us too.
Good evening. My name is Christina Diaz. I was formerly the vice principal at Robert Elementary, and now I'm the proud associate principal at Kruger Elementary. I also started my educational journey at kindergarten at Passmore Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Kim Tweet, formerly the academic dean at Rawlinson Middle School, and now circling back to my elementary roots as the associate principal at Awi Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Mireles. I was the former admin intern at John Glenn Elementary, and now I have the privilege of serving as the associate principal at Burke Elementary.
Congratulations.
Hi, good evening. I'm Jenny Moreno Gonzalez. I was formerly the admin intern at Carlos Kuhn Elementary, and I am now the new proud associate principal at Monroe May Elementary.
Hi, good evening. My name is Amanda Munoz. I was formerly the admin intern at Cable Elementary, and I'm the new associate principal at Powell Elementary.
Congratulations.
Hello, I'm Candace Maldonado. I too was an intern at Cable and must have done something right because they promoted me to the associate principal.
Good evening. My name is Juan Perez, not to be confused by JJ Perez because I get all his emails. I was formerly the MSD at Gom Elementary, and now I'm proud associate principal at K. Franklin Elementary.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Frazier. I was formerly a fifth grade teacher at Franklin Elementary, and I am now the associate principal at Michael Elementary.
And she might be related to Linda McGee.
Might be.
Hi, my name is Tyler Smur. I was the admin intern at Neff Middle School, and now I am the associate principal at Rhodes Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Renee Schivel. I'm the proud associate principal at Northwest Crossing Elementary. Previously, I was an MSD at Henderson Elementary.
Just for the board, MSD is Math Staff Developer.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Cole Botter. I was formerly the special ed coordinator and teacher at Mary Hull Elementary. And now I'm the proud associate principal at Robba Elementary. Go Rattlers.
Math Staff Developer.
Good evening. I'm LaShonda Robinson. I have been blessed to serve in Northside as the formerly fifth grade team lead at Nichols Elementary, currently serving as associate principal at Bronze Station Elementary.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Richard Martinez. I was formerly the admin intern at Glen Oaks Elementary, and now I'm the proud associate principal at Fields Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Linda Guzman, and I'm the proud associate principal at Verial Elementary School. And previously, I was at Sul Ross Middle School, and I was the academic dean at Harlandale as well.
Happy Tuesday. I am Jessica Lundquist. I formerly was the math specialist at Meadow Village Elementary, and now I am the proud associate principal of Meadow Village Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Ruiz. I'm a product of Northside, graduating from Taft High School. I was the former associate principal at Meadow Village Elementary, and now I'm serving the Leon Valley Elementary community as our associate principal.
Hi, good evening. I'm Christina Escarcega, and I am the proud vice principal or associate principal of Bolt Elementary, formerly teacher at Ott Elementary.
Good evening. I'm Carrie Gray. I had started my 17th year at Ott Elementary and got hired as the admin intern at Glen Oaks, and now I am the associate principal at Scobie Elementary.
Yay.
Good evening. I'm the proud associate principal at Lock Hill Elementary School. Prior to that, I was the admin intern at Boone, and prior to that, I was at Ott Elementary for 14 years, but Ray Galindo is going to tell you everything I know is because of him.
Good evening, buenas tardes. My name is Roxana Olvera. Formerly, I was the administrator intern at John Glenn Elementary, and today I serve as the proud associate principal at Ott Elementary.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Casey Felt. Formerly, I was a fifth grade teacher at Blattman Elementary, and last year I had the honor of opening Warnley Elementary as their first associate principal.
Congratulations.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cynthia Castillo. I was the admin intern at Carnahan Elementary, and now I am the associate principal at Glen Oaks Elementary. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca Zamora Barraza, and I was formerly the admin intern at Meade Elementary, and I am the proud associate principal at Raul B. Fernandez Elementary.
And the rest of these folks are central office folks.
Hello.
Here's
Good
another
evening.
one I almost vetoed right here.
Good evening. I'm Jackie Horace, the Director of Secondary Human Resources, formerly the principal of O'Connor High School. It's good to see everyone.
And another one I almost vetoed. Yeah.
Good evening. I'm Misty Knapp. I'm the former principal of Burke Elementary and the new Director of Elementary Human Resources.
Here's one I didn't veto. I didn't.
Like, don't say it.
Happy you are here.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. My name is Jill Hackney. I used to be the academic dean at Clark High School. I am currently the director of advanced academics.
Good evening. For many years, I was the head counselor at Taft High School with a 3-year head counselor stint at Jay. And now I'm the director of counseling for Northside. Thank you.
And you are Mary Libby.
Oh, see?
Oh, no.
We even practiced. Kimberly Ridgely, I'm the former director of counseling. I'm the new executive director of whole child development.
Good evening. I'm Carrie Squires, and I am currently the Director of Academic Technology, and I previously served as the principal at Hoffman Elementary. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Lori Gallegos. I'm the new Director of Leadership Development, and previously I served as the principal at Kuntz Elementary.
Good evening. I'm Maria Elena Mesa, and I was formerly principal at Glen Oaks Elementary, and now I'm the proud director of state and federal programs. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Brenda Ward. I was formerly the Executive Director of Continuous Improvement, and now I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Continuous Improvement. So we hope to continuously improve. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Christina Eckert. Previously, I was part of the amazing communications media productions team, and now I am proud to be the new director of marketing for the district.
Very nice to put a name and a face together.
Good evening. My name is Andrea Tenna, and I was formerly the Assistant Director for Purchasing and Warehouse, and I am now the Director for Purchasing and Warehouse here at Northside.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Adam Jackson. I'm the Director of Technology Acquisitions and Project Management, and I was formerly a Technology Project Manager. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Tracy Wernley, and I was formerly the principal at Garcia Middle School and now serving as the Executive Director of Student Services.
Hello, my name is Esperanza Rios, and I was formerly the Assistant Director of Budget and Research, and I am the Director of Budget and Research.
And pretty busy this time of year.
Hi there, I'm Pam Gould, and I was formerly a hearing officer at Pupil Personnel, and I am very happy to say I am now Assistant Director at the Office of Student Advocacy and School Choice.
Hello, I'm Kathy Lissy. I was a former principal at Pease Middle School, and now I'm the director at SASE, Office of Student Advocacy and School Choice.
Good evening. My name is Veronica Meckler, and I was formerly the Assistant Director of Elementary Special Education, and now I am the Director of Special Education.
Good evening. My name is Adriana Garza, and I was the Leadership Development Director, and now I am Executive Director of Elementary Administration.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Palomares. Formerly, I was the Executive Director for Elementary Administration, and now I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Elementary Administration.
Hi, I'm Cecilia Garza, Director of Transportation. I was formerly the principal at Myers Elementary for 10 years.
Good evening. I'm Valerie Sisk, formerly the principal of the Purple Pride of Northside, Warren High School, and am now the Executive Director for Secondary Administration. Thank you.
Good evening. Happy Taco Tuesday. My name is Enrique Jimenez. I'm the new Director of Engineering Services. And when I accepted this position, I was the Assistant Director for Facilities at SAISD. And I am honored to serve in this capacity now. Thank you. Have a great night.
Welcome to Northside.
Leroy, will he be at building committee?
Okay.
It's very nice to meet you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ben Muir. I am the former elementary HR director and the new executive director of elementary administration.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Eric Tobias, formerly the Executive Director of Secondary Admin, now the Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Admin.
I was going to say, Eric, move.
Good evening. My name is Tiffany Contreras. I was formerly the Director of Special Revenue and Compliance. I am now the Assistant Superintendent for Budget and Finance. I am a product of Northside. I started in 7th grade at Pat Neff Middle School, and I graduated from Business Careers High School. Go Huskies.
And last but certainly not least,
Good evening. My name is Jerry Woods. I'm the former principal of Clark, Texas, and now the assistant superintendent for high school CNI.
All right.
so that was a heck of a group. So obviously next year we will attempt to go back to just 1 year's worth of people, and we will attempt to go back to a reception like we've had in the past and so forth. But to many of your points as you were seeing these folks, I think it is important for you to try to put a name and a face, or at least a job role and a face together, so that as you interact with these folks, either formally or informally, you have some sense, of who you're dealing with. Obviously, this is a massive organization with 14,000 employees, and so it's tough to keep up with all of that. But we didn't want to go another year without having done it. So I appreciate the staff, Ray and his group, who are getting all that organized.
There's actually a position I want to ask you about.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, okay, I didn't know we had that.
There's actually a couple that creeped up that way, and I appreciate them being here. I know that they've got other things to do too, so I appreciate them all being here. And what a group! I hope there was some big picture somewhere, the parade of administrators as they I don't know.
Ray, I wanted to say too, what was so impressive is I remember back with Mr. Jordan, so that goes way back, and I think it was AIM then, right? And I remember when y'all wanted to revamp that program, and you've done an amazing job, because look how many of our administrative interns that go through your program are now administrators. I mean, I thought that was really impressive how many of them have moved into that role. So thank you for doing such a good job with that.
Thank you.
We've always talked about wanting to grow our own, and we certainly are.
Appreciate that.
Good comment. All right. So next item under the on the agenda is under Business and Finance, the notice of our public meeting to discuss budget and proposed tax rate. Dr. Barajas.
Yes, ma'am. This is just having the board call for the public hearing on the budget and proposed tax rates. The date that the administration is recommending is August 17th. The notice that is required will be in the paper either the 6th or the 7th of this month.
Okay. Is that the end of your report?
That is it.
Okay. I guess I misunderstood that from our discussion yesterday. Fellow board members, this is on approval. We need it's for approval. So is there a motion?
What day is 17th?
It's a Tuesday, 2 weeks from today.
Is it our traditional? Okay, thank you. I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the public meeting for the budget and proposed tax rate. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Ayes have it, and the motion carries. And the next item on the agenda is under technology services. And who would have that?
So while Chris Trejo makes his way to the podium, I'll tee up this item. This is a late ad. This is also a part of federal stimulus funding, and so the agency is building this plane while they're flying it. So there are two aspects of this program that Chris is going to explain, and we're going to ask for the board's consideration. We're not actually sure we need the board to approve this, but the deadline for us to apply for these dollars is coming up so quickly, we don't have another board meeting between now and then. The deadline's literally the 13th. So we're going to ask for the board's consideration just kind of out of precaution that we might need it, because there is a clear benefit to the district and to some families that the district serves via this program. There's two aspects to this. One is a reimbursement program for devices that we had already intended to purchase in the spring of this year that we've kind of we've delayed and waited on this program. That's worth just over $4 million in reimbursement to the district. The other aspect of this program is to provide broadband internet access for a year to families in Northside, to some families in Northside that do not have that access, paid for indirectly via the federal stimulus program. So Chris will walk through this. We'll try to answer your questions. And again, we're not sure we needed to bring this, but it doesn't hurt for you to have the information. And this will protect us in case the agency turns around in a week and says, oh, by the way, you need board approval. So there you go. Chris?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Woods. I appreciate it. Good evening, President Freeman, members of the board. As Dr. Woods stated, my name is Chris Trejo. I'm serving as the Executive Director of Technology Services here at Northside. I'm here tonight just to briefly share some additional information on the Region 4 Education Service Center and local agreement that's under consideration for approval on tonight's agenda, as stated. Next slide, please. Thank you. Before we dive into what the interlocal agreement represents, just wanted to briefly touch on the handful of topics we'll be covering tonight in tonight's presentation. First up is just a brief overview of how this interlocal agreement fits into the larger picture of Northside's participation in several state and federal funding initiatives that have been launched to help school districts, as Dr. Wood stated, to really help school districts provide the tools and services that will help close the all-important homework gap during the COVID-19 emergency period. So the homework gap aspect is an important piece of this as it relates to a lot of the compliance and what we're going through right now. After the overview, I'll briefly walk through what that interlocal agreement looks like, really, and what it represents, and moreover, why we're required to participate in it as a district. Lastly, I will touch on give you guys a little more insight into both state and federal initiatives that are driving the need to participate in this interlocal agreement. Next slide, please. All right. I want to begin tonight just by providing you with the visual here of where this interlocal agreement fits into our ongoing process to leverage the services and funding made available through the TEA Connect Texas program. As well as the Emergency Connectivity Fund, which was developed out of the FCC, both of which I'll further discuss in the following slides. As you see on this slide, this interlocal agreement is the first required step for districts seeking to partake in the TEA Connect Texas program, TACT, and you may hear me say that a couple of more times. That in and of itself, of course, begs the ultimate question: what is TACT and why do we want to participate in it? As the slide indicates, TACT is formed as part of the state's larger Operation Connectivity Initiative, and which is a statewide initiative, TEA-led initiative that was developed to support districts that seek to provide broadband internet access to students and families that lack access to adequate internet connectivity at home. Adequate is the key word there, as we talk through compliance. This program was developed in a fashion that helps facilitate the acquisition, implementation, and support of internet lines for eligible families of Northside. Ultimately, entering into this interlocal agreement will allow the district to leverage the bulk purchase discount rates, which Region 4 has negotiated on behalf of Texas school systems. Finally, just moving along in this process with the arrows there, you'll see that an important note that the entire TAC program was designed in a way to allow districts to leverage the FCC's Emergency Connectivity Fund, or EFC. Simply put, the this ECF, provides a fantastic opportunity for any broadband expenditures to be reimbursed up to 100% dollar for dollar. So in a nutshell here, the approval to proceed with entering into this interlocal agreement with Region 4 will allow us to participate in the TACT program. TACT will then assist Northside in filing for our ECF application, seeking up to 100% of reimbursement of any home-based broadband lines that we will acquire. As well as what Dr. Woods mentioned, we're also in a different channel running through the device reimbursement program as well. It does not involve this interlocal agreement. That is being done through our E-rate consultant at the moment. So separate but similar processes right now that we're working through.
Hang on one second, Chris.
No problem.
Chris.
Yes, sir.
When we talk about, providing internet for or connectivity or these funds for connectivity, do we know what the income level is? I'm sure it's a socioeconomic, disadvantaged or.
Right.
Do we know what that is yet?
The baseline for a lot of these initiatives does start with the EcoDis aspect of it. But as I mentioned earlier, the word adequate, what the state has done in this program, in this TAC program, they've put a lot of legwork into identifying. They've mapped every single school district to identify where the bulk of the economically disadvantaged students may reside in. They've done that really to identify what districts would be eligible for with regards to numbers of lines. And so for us as a district, because of our EcoDis number, the TEA has identified upwards of 54,000 potential lines that our students would be eligible for just from being from an EcoDis standpoint.
Right.
Now, as you walk through the compliance of the project, the main eligibility aspect of this project is going to be determined by whether they have internet access or not, and if their internet access that they have is adequate or not. And there's a technical piece behind the adequate piece, and
so
that has to
when-
do with uploads and download speed.
So when you talk about adequate, you're talking about more from an infrastructure perspective, right?
Correct.
So that could be either through the service provider like AT&T, Google Fiber.
That is correct. Absolutely. Yeah. So adequate really is defined by download and upload speeds. And as you can imagine, I know you probably had a ton of these administrators that just walked through here, identify experiences over this past year where students, while provided internet access, whether it's through a hotspot or such, it's not necessarily the most conducive form of technology for virtual learning.
Sure.
You have for Zoom sessions, et cetera,
Sure.
as you can imagine. So adequate being the key there was defined as 25 meg download speeds and 3 meg upload speeds. So there's a baseline that's been set for that.
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, Karen.
Yes.
Okay, so Chris, first off, thank you so much for all the help that you have given to our students throughout all of this.
Yes, ma'am.
Very much appreciate what you've done.
Thank you, yes, ma'am.
And I'm really technology challenged, so I do understand the eligibility piece is the that EcoDis, but what about those families that may not qualify from that standpoint, but aren't at economic level where they can provide this?
Great question. So I'll tell you from an eligibility standpoint, the EcoDis creates an eligibility from a district standpoint. Now, when it comes down to there's a pretty intricate process that's on the back end that is going to happen for vetting who's eligible or not. So to your point, whether it's going to come down to there's no essentially all families are eligible. It's the only measure is going to be whether you have internet access,
And what your speed
and
is?
what that internet access entails.
Okay.
So the way this is really set up is that even if someone's not economically disadvantaged, but they lack adequate internet access, they'd still be eligible.
So what happens with, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but so at my house, we have the high-speed internet, but my desktop is so old that it doesn't work with it. What about if we have families like that they don't have the speeds work, but they don't necessarily have the equipment to work?
Well, remember, we're now, after COVID, a one-to-one district. So every student's going to have a machine. And so if that's the case, that machine that we issue that student ought to be new enough that won't be an issue.
That is
So
correct.
that won't
So
be.
we
So
fulfill that need.
whatever, if they have an old desktop sitting there that doesn't work right, that maybe they had to use in Zoom, the equipment we're giving them,
Yes.
though, should be able to
Absolutely.
work on that.
Absolutely.
And then is there a cap on the amount of money that we can get through this?
From a financial standpoint, I'm going to touch on this in another slide. Actually, the prices have been negotiated by the T-Act program with specific telecom companies to identify what that. So it's really going to be on us as a district to determine what that scope and scale is going to look like.
And so it's
There
actually
is a
going-
finite budget amount. This is not an unlimited sum of funds. So eventually the dollars will roll
And so
out.
it's actually going in and making sure that individual household has that wiring or whatever.
That is
to-
correct. Yeah.
And then what about apartments?
Covers that.
Covers all of that as well?
Right, just as any other telecom. So essentially, it's going to be just as if they were purchasing it on their own. There's just going to be a lot more coordination needed and planned between the district, the telecom, and the T-Act program.
That's great.
Yes, it's a huge win from a perfect case scenario standpoint as it relates to providing students with the best broadband internet access for learning outside of
And
the
I
buildings.
thought we were normally Region 20, but it doesn't specify, I mean,
Right.
we're also
I'll t-
Region
yeah.
4, or can we can jump
Yeah,
on
it's
to-
the Region 4 got picked early on in the kind of technology reimbursement process as the kind of the keeper of that. And so just like the other technology reimbursement programs that we've done since COVID began, they were also coordinated by Region 4. So the interlocal
Okay.
agreement is with Region 4 because that's who TEA said, you're
They're
going to
gonna
do
be
this work.
responsible for that. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. That was actually the very next bullet I was going to be talking about.
Good, we can skip it. Moving on.
Moving on. Thank you for the slide switch there. I just want to quickly jump through the three key aspects involved in this process. The first being the Region 4 interlocal agreement itself. This information presented on the slide really focuses on the what and the why surrounding the interlocal agreement. And to answer your question exactly, Ms. Chumley. First and foremost, this working in conjunction with TEA, Region 4 issued this awarded RFP for the bulk purchase of these fixed internet solution lines. So essentially, they're acting as the procurement mechanism for TEA in this sense. Telecommunication companies were then awarded across the state were awarded based on them meeting the scope of the RFP. Multiple telecoms were awarded all across. I think that's important. The key telecom companies in our district were awarded. The AT&Ts, the Charters of the world were included in that as well. With regards to the why, second portion there of the slide, really, as I mentioned, the TIAC program was utilizing our local agreement as the contracting mechanism between districts and Region 4. as a good method of relationship, just like many other interlocal agreements or cooperatives are done so. We essentially are required to enter into this interlocal agreement to leverage the bulk purchase discounted broadband rates that Region 4 has negotiated on behalf of school systems. So that's what leads us to Region 4 and such. Perfect. Next slide, please. This one I don't have to touch too much on. We covered a lot of this on the previous slide, but just to recap, TACT in of itself was a statewide TEA-led initiative to support districts seek home-based broadband internet access for their students. The big picture process here is they're going to help facilitate the acquisition of the lines, which is the piece of the timeline that we're in right now. They'll also facilitate the installation of the lines, and they will also provide a pretty robust support team for this after the initial initiation and implementation of these lines throughout the program's life and history. Just quick couple of bullets on where we're at in the process here. What they did was they mapped student connectivity based on equal dis and such. Region 4 then issued the RFP, and now we're living in is the acquisition, installation, and access to the funding aspect of this. Next slide, please. Just very briefly touching on the Emergency Connectivity Fund. This all ties back to the Emergency Connectivity Fund. Reason being is that the entire TACT program was set up in a way from a timing standpoint to be able to file, as Dr. Wood said, to either file for a reimbursement through the ECF or from a refund on any lines that were not procured in this process. And that refund would then happen through the Region 4 Service Center. As the slide indicates, this is a part of the American Rescue Plan. $7.2 billion have been allocated for this process. And
nationwide.
Nationwide, yes, not district.
Just being clear.
But that is an important piece for sure. A key piece and why we're here, as Dr. Wood said, is that the application deadline is next week, August 13th. Fun times. They're not only building the plane, they're essentially still buying the parts for it and such in a lot of this. And so I had dark hair just last week, and now it's all great, I think. But just to recap, the expenses that are eligible for reimbursement here includes home-based connectivity, high-speed broadband, as we said, and devices for student and staff that we purchase through a specific time frame of July 1st through June 30th of 2022. And so with that, that concludes my presentation. I do appreciate the time you guys have given me to present this information.
Thank you. Any questions?
Nope, I move approval if you.
Second.
And
Yes, question.
Oh, Bobby, I'm sorry.
No, that's no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
we have a motion and a who seconded? Okay. We have a motion and a second, and just a comment. So this is a great opportunity, and you'll keep us informed as to how this goes forward. And
Yeah, once we get the funding, we can come back and say, okay, here's the next step in the process. Yeah, we can do that.
all right.
Karen, before you do,
Yes.
just want and I'm fine with it. This is really good news. Very, very fine with this. I just have a question sort of
Yes, sir.
outside of this that somewhat relates. I was curious about long-term pictures. Is the E-rate FCC issue, is that still going for that one's still going forward, after we get through this part of it? The second one was SAISD, San Antonio's efforts on the private broadband. Does that also sort of help a little bit, or did that one sort of
Correct.
long-term wise?
I'll touch on the first point
Okay.
first. This ECF is a direct result of the FCC's efforts. So there's a very close tie into the E-rate program.
Okay.
It's modeling the E-rate program, but it's not the E-rate program. And so this is the exact piece that school districts have been looking for from the FCC.
Oh, good.
And so it's very encouraging for this to happen now. And
Right.
what we're looking for is the funding to continue
Continuation.
over years. Yes, absolutely. As far as the second piece goes, I know the San Antonio initiative is still ongoing.
Okay.
We have met with them a couple of times fairly recently. What their solution involves is a private LTE
Right.
network, wireless network,
Right.
which at the moment we feel is an option, but from a technical standpoint, probably isn't at where the high-speed broadband solution would be.
Okay, good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you.
Yeah, just to be clear, the funding that we're looking at right now is for one academic year. And so we'll have to, the feds will have to continue to support it if the program goes beyond that, or we'll have to consider other options for families. But
Correct.
this gets us through essentially June of 2022.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Did we vote? I'm
No.
sorry. Okay.
Motion and a
We
second.
have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, the motion carries, and I hope and I guess good luck. or-
Yeah,
Yes.
that's,
Yes.
good luck is
Good luck.
better than
Working through the process,
congratulations.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got a long way to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, thank you.
Great team. Thank you.
And we have reached the end of our agenda. Unless there's any objections, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank y'all.